Raynel Martinez, many people have received emails from me from the beginning of January. It all started in 2016. Get my teeth. Don't look good. But it all started in 2016 when I went to what is known as File Film Palacker. There's a nice little website called filefilmpalacker.com. There are 3 of them. And if you type in a specific thing in the Google, you find File Film Palacker, and it lets you be basically getting emails and phone numbers, and it tells you the name. Like basically, I'm totally in love with Jenna Louise Coleman from Doctor Who, and when I want to look her up, I could go to her Instagram, which is what everybody does, or Instagram, or Twitter, or Facebook, all that stuff from whenever you can. But this is where you go, hey, I'm James Cameron, and I don't have any contact information of Jenna. Oh, I go to File Film Palacker, Google, clicky, findy, search. Here you go. You got to pay us money. I don't pay anything. And I go click, and I go, these are the 16 people that you contact for Jenna. And it's a cold call. It's basically, hey, they may read this or they may not. They may have 100,000 emails in their system, where they may have your email go, I don't know this person, so it goes into a specific file and they don't look at it. But you're kind of imagining that basically if you're sending it to someone, they're going to have a cell phone, an iPhone. This isn't the old days of Nokia, the old days of a cell phone being plastic and look like a Game Boy. So they're going to have the email and maybe they'll read it. So make it a good font, make it with some good photos, get to the point really quickly, say a little bit about yourself, leave your information, and only send 2 emails maximum. You follow up maybe 2, and don't be desperate, don't be an asshole on filefilmpalacker.com, which is not the website. I'm not going to tell you. Maybe I will if you email me at omegaswiper@gmail.com. But basically, it's just one of those things where I go, I've sent messages to Jenna Coleman over the years, and her people change. The people change, so don't think that, it's always going to stay, it's always going to stay up. She'll have 3 people that are no longer with her. They'll lie to you. Maybe they'll just lie to you and say, oh, I read what you, they won't even say they read it and loved it. They'll say, oh, we don't represent her, just to lie to you. So you leave them alone. But that's all I was going to talk about. So love you, Jenna Louise Coleman. I know this skin, this person. I know I've got the confidence. I got to get the confidence up. As soon as I get my Wolverine team, I'll be looking good. So anyway, wanted to talk about Spider-Man, because I did send Kevin Feige and Tom Holland, specifically Zendaya. Everybody likes Zendaya. I sent them a couple of years ago, right when they had decided that they weren't going to do Spider-Man anymore. And I said, hey, do this with the story. And it was about a mutant. It was a story that was my story a little bit, but a little bit of the comic story about her having a stalker. And the stalker makes Peter and the world forget a little bit. He has a mutant power of absorbing memories. And this was in the comics. And I said, at the end, he makes the whole world forget that Peter Parker and Spider-Man even existed. And they use this with Doctor Strange, which is cooler, that he has, he is in New York. And Doctor Strange is more cool in the story. You need the portals to let people in. And I sent Mr. Christian Repchis' Homeworlds, and they kind of referenced it in the trailer, and they said boring. I don't know why they said it was boring, but I guess it was. But it had all the Sinister Six from Mysterio, Vulture, Daredevil, everybody that was in the movie. Had all the Spider-Mans, and it was this cool, amazing trailer, only using footage from 2019, movies of 2019, 2020, and 2021 and 22. There were no footage existing, and he used it. He made a great trailer, and it was called Homeworlds. If only he could have thought of the name No Way Home at the time, and nobody thought of the way No Way Home, but it made them think of the way No Way Home. And interestingly enough, very cool. Tom Holland saw our suggestions, me and Precious, sent it to them. Sent some stuff about Endgame and Infinity War when Iron Man 3 came out, and it was only Avengers Age of Ultron still had yet to come out. So basically, as I think I deserve a little bit of a job and some money helping out, but they didn't care to talk to me at all. So here I am talking about something that I want to talk about. Did Doctor Strange, and they're going to say yes, it did, which doesn't make any sense. Everybody in the world is saying we all forgot that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But Mysterio recorded his footage. He recorded his footage. So it's like right now me recording something, and he was Mysterio. Remember, the events of Spider-Man Far From Home happened. The drone attack happened. Somebody is investigating the drone attack. People in police in that area are investigating the drone attack, and Mysterio is still dead. So the question is, if he recorded his Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker, then that footage still exists. So the footage of me going, hey, Bruce Wayne is Batman, and I'm on YouTube with 6 million views, the spell would have to make it that Mysterio was alive, and as he was recording that thing, completely forgot. And that's what I have to go. I go, how does Doctor Strange know Mysterio is the one who has to forget? So then you wonder, maybe the question isn't that they had to make the whole world forget, but maybe that they had to use the multiverse to go back and just make Mysterio forget. And if Mysterio forgets who Spider-Man is, then there is no broadcast. And if there is no broadcast, then everything changes. Once again, the time jump. So you're wondering, if Mysterio doesn't know who Spider-Man is, then no one in the world knows who Spider-Man is. And you know that Mysterio does know who Spider-Man is because all the events stayed true. All the events up to that moment had to happen. Aunt May is still dead, right? So think about that. If he forgot who Aunt May was, he goes to her grave. She's right there, Aunt May, dead. So he would know. So that's the question. Did Spider-Man really get away with the world not knowing who he was? And that's what they have to show. They should show that Spider-Man has to go, oh shit, now I have to go to J. Jonah. Where is that footage that is uploaded? Where was that footage uploaded? Mysterio, the website, because Mysterio is still real. He's not forgotten about. So he would have to make the world forget about Mysterio too. So Doctor Strange must have forgot that Mysterio recorded his message like I'm recording now. It's sitting on the internet. It's sitting at YouTube. It's sitting all over the world. And he's going to say, Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. And everyone's going to go, oh, shit. I thought you said, it's like I made everyone in the world and their brains forget, but the footage still exists. So that needs to tie into the next Spider-Man, which would be totally cool in that he made everyone forget and then they remember. And then they could use a life model decoy. They could use, who knows? They could use a life model decoy of Peter Parker. They could use a chameleon. The chameleon can come in. A lot of people could come in to help Spider-Man. I've always wanted to see Firestar and Iceman. I want to see Mysterio. I want to see the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer. I want to see a Spider-Man Academy, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I want to see Mutants, Fantastic Four, New York, more Spider-Man with Captain Marvel. Lots of cool stuff can be done. So sorry, Doctor Strange, but I do not believe, and the spell has far-reaching abilities, but they're for a person in a human form. They're for me when you hit me with the spell. They're not for that they go in the computer and they erase all your files, but they probably could. Maybe you could erase. I mean, if I tell you erase every photo and every trace of Muhammad Ali, isn't like his son or his children who are alive would go, who's my dad? And they'd say, your dad is, oh, I don't know. I don't know who my dad is. And then when you look at the boxing footage and the people who went with tickets, they go, how big is that spell? No wonder there's a multiverse problem. Because we're sitting there going, he had to make Muhammad Ali disappear from everyone's collective consciousness when there's photos right now. There's a magazine sitting right there with a photo of Muhammad Ali. So there we go. Sorry, Spider-Man, your problems are just beginning. You completely did not need to get people to erase your memory, but it's understandable people forgot. So we need to tie that into the beginning sequence, which is J. Jonah, which Peter Parker works for, and the stuff of Mysterio. And that's very interesting. Mysterio. We will believe you. Now I'm going to be working on Two-Face. Two-Face, Aaron Eckhart will return. He's not dead. It's the biggest fucking movie ever. It's bigger than even the biggest movies that I've come up with. I came up with a movie that I thought was huge. It involved all this cool stuff. And I said, well, this movie's way smarter and cooler. It's just that it doesn't take place in a specific setting, but it's cooler. Two-Face. Scream. I have about 12 Scream movies. I have about 12 Justice League style Batman, Superman movies with Two-Face. Got a lot of stuff to do. So let's get to it. And yes, Spider-Man. I have about 20 movies for Spider-Man. It involves Ghost Rider, a lot of cool stuff. Yes, there's movies for Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, which are cool, but that is the coolest thing ever. The coolest thing ever would be, and here's a smart way that Spider-Man could get out of being Spider-Man. He could say his name is Peter Parker, but a multiverse could be opened, and Andrew Garfield, I say Andrew Garfield, not Tobey Maguire because he's taller and he's older, or maybe that would make sense because he's older, but they could get a Peter Parker and he could just lie about his name. He call himself Wendell Walker, and everyone looks for him, and they'll look for his picture, and they'll say, who is this guy, Wendell Walker? And it's a Spider-Man, and he's a Spider-Man with his costume, so it is a Peter Parker, so he's not lying, a life model decoy. Totally cool. Very cool. Very cool for Spider-Man. Awesome.